Hello. So for my behavior change project, I am working with a 4-year-old and interverbal training as a safety precaution. So I chose to look further into more general and broad interverbal training, which is where I found the article that I decided to review. It's called Evaluating the Emergence of Reverse Interverbals Following Interverbal Training in Young Children with Autism Spectrum Disorders by Dixon Kodak. Excuse me. So the purpose of the study was to evaluate whether teaching sets of original and reverse interverbals from the same category, for example, animal sounds, would result in the emergence of novel reverse interverbals. So the dependent variable were the participants' correct and incorrect responses, and the independent variable were sets of interverbals. So they divided them into two sets, set one being two unrelated interverbals. What does a cow say? What does a duck say? And set two being the reverse of those interverbals. Moo says the cow. Quack says the duck. So IOA was taken in a trial-by-trial method where the researchers compared scores in each trial and divided the number with the agreement by the number of trials with agreement or disagreement multiplied by 100. And IOA was taken in 44% of the sessions, and there was no information about treatment fidelity. The results of the study were that each child mastered sets of interverbals in a small amount of sessions, but there were no trends in relation to the number of sessions required to master sets of original interverbals. And also, the researchers found that some correct responses occurred without direct training. So the conclusion was that teaching original interverbals produced emergence of interverbal, and teaching reverse interverbals was unnecessary. So they didn't need the set 2 because the reverse just occurred on its own. Some limitations were that other variables might have been responsible for increased correct responses. The independent variables were not introduced in all the categories, and that there might have been inconsistent experimental control. Thank you.